A lot of the KPIs that we see and consider when we're speaking to a lot of our customers as being requested as it relates to a vendor management system will really fall around a few core things. One, you'll see vendor performance metrics, supplier performance. They want to know who's performing and who's not performing against a couple critical benchmarks, which is usually cost per hire, time to fill, turnover rates, compliance adherence. Oftentimes, we're seeing a lot of information around workforce diversity and employee satisfaction levels. Oftentimes, they're left by an anecdotal feeling as it relates to who's doing well and who's not doing well. Having this in a system of truth now removes all that ambiguity and allows them to see in real time who's actually doing well and who's not.
If you have a contingent workforce and you're looking at staffing firms or agencies to help fill those roles, are they doing it quickly? Are they doing it in a way that is accretive to the business that you're trying to run? If you have a department that has a high urgency need, how quickly are we getting the right people in the seats, whether it's through an agency or through your own sourcing as a client company? Those are the things that can really inform and drive the success of a company and their contingent workforce program.
The quality and trust factor certainly goes up when we're talking about real data and KPIs. You can imagine in a workforce, maybe you have some supervisors who want things a certain way or feel certain ways. The data helps us eliminate what I'll call noise and really look at what's happening, what are the facts, and eliminate any type of assumptions when it comes to our work.
The way that Taliant enables those different KPIs or those newer KPIs that clients don't always look at on their own is looking at a consistency of our billing, first of all, having the ability to dive into very specific overtime usage or different contingent workforce usage, such as SOW spend and 1099 spend as well. It gives you that visibility to see all of it. Are you approaching a PO limit, or are we needing to do an extension of all of our contingent workforce that are hourly? All of those things you don't necessarily track on your own, and you certainly don't do it consistently across your departments. Taliant allows for that. It allows for you to see where your usage is and to take action on it in a way that you normally wouldn't on your own through spreadsheets. It also will inform you of when are we hitting limits? When are we over budget? When are we under budget? When are we not getting the right people in quick enough that we have this PO sitting there that the project's not getting done because of the fill ratios and things along those lines. All of this interconnects within Taliant.
What we're seeing in the markets today is certain generations of workforce won't follow a really long process. And so having data that comes out of Taliant allows companies to understand how long is it taking us to get a candidate from resume to start? Are there really unnecessarily delays that are happening in the middle of that process? All of the new real-time data that's out there, companies now have the ability to re-look at how they have been hiring employees for a long time. We've seen lots of companies who have a hiring process that maybe is a bit long. And so having this data really can tell us, for example, when does a candidate apply for the position? When are they chosen to interview? When is the offer sent out? And when did they start? And we can really look at this data to see, are we losing people in the middle of this process? The market is changing really quickly. And when it comes to qualified talent, you don't want a process that is elongated and losing people. This data shows us where that's happening.
One of the things that we're starting to see as it relates to finding ways to measure is a lot of organizations are finding ways to create this optimization of their workforce. Workforce flexibility is just critical today. If that's type of scenario, a hybrid type of scenario, or especially within industrial customers, we're seeing companies wanting to unbundle their standard work shift, but being able to manage that is very difficult. Oftentimes shifting their mindset around headcount versus product out and output, and then hours work that needs to do that. Being able to provide a KPI around hours work to equate the output helps them make informed decisions to say, hey, I may not need a full-time equivalent here. I may be able to open this up to part-time work to open up the labor pool a little bit more, increase fill rates. That's one thing that we're seeing a lot from a KPI perspective. Basically, there's an entirely new way to manage your workforce, and leveraging technology to be able to do that will just make it much easier for you and also for the suppliers to be able to do so.